my latest new old saying. The kings and rule makers who end up being the greatest lawbreakers and who believe they are born to occupy the positions they find themselves in can only exist if we use their money. I've been kind of wanting to broach this topic for a long while now, but coming up with the right words and trying to overcome 10,000 years of indoctrination is a wee bit difficult. Also, suspicions of nefarious actions only recently exposing the members as being involved in the occult complicates the matter, not because the accusations are not true, but because it focuses on a symptom and not the root. There's an apparent competition between two economic systems when, in reality, one rides on the back of the other and gains its viability by the force of a boot on the back of the first. Now, by now, most of you who study economics may be sitting there nodding agreement because this fits the argument of how socialism rides on capitalism, but perverts it. Well, not exactly the theme of my thesis. The problem started 10 centuries ago over in Mesopotamia, as we Westerners called it, the Middle East. And since then, the force of the boot needed to maintain the farce and the theft has grown to such an extent that the participants are waving nuclear weapons and the threat of using them in order to determine who gets to be the thief in charge. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the natural progression and inevitable outcome of capitalism. Stop, you might say. Capitalism is the most efficient way to spread technology and lift the standard of life around the globe. And that has gotten us where? With poisons leaching through the ground and into, or pumped directly into the water which we drink, and belched into the air that we all share. And there is the economic system upon which capital hitches a free ride. Don't buy it if you don't like or disagree with our product. Don't breathe is the boot overshadowing that reply. Economic activity began with giving. Look, my spear point, much better. More meat for all of us. See, I told you if we planted then, we would have more now. Let us eat. And that is the economic model from which capital steals. and says, if you need shelter, it will cost you. If you need food, it will cost you. I own the land and the means of production. And that is what supports the oligarchy to this day. From 1929 through the early 30s, the walls of commerce started crashing everywhere. It's a smashing blow that caught most people unawares. But this ain't 1930. And their laundry, black and dirty, has been visible for over 30 years to anyone who takes the time and cares. But when Greenspan tossed the brakes and, goodness sakes, the snakes in charge, repeating patterns that were clear. The Fed in charge in 1914, dropping interest, printing money, opened up the stock exchange to promises of milk and honey. Get them peons. Pump up prices. 15 years of rolling dice, then crash it all with margin calls and selling fears. And it's been really clear as day, the antics of Congressmen Ney and DeLay and CEOs like Kenneth Lay, repeating patterns of the barons of 100 years ago. And it's been loudly pointed out. The signs, quite clear and all quite boldly bragged about. But modern man, too busy drinking beer and watching TV, clearly couldn't bother reading about that great tsunami. Building, coming to do what? Well, spoil our day. So, buckle up your seatbelts, kiddies, if you still own cars and skivvies. 'Cause that ride that they've been driving goes from climbing high to diving down a canyon when you thought the ground you stood on was the bottom, as low as down could go. And there's no telling just how low they've engineered this game to go. Those dreams and myths that they've been selling, try flipping them inversely in the telling, and you'll have an inkling of how deep this rabbit hole. And now, into the circle 5.